Hi, I'm Reluctant Artsy and welcome to my channel. Over the past month I broke 100 followers, which to me is pretty amazing, and I thank the Table Story community because I would venture to say that over half of my followers are part of that community, and that's wonderful. Adam Koebel and the doghouse. He's certainly been in the doghouse for the past month. I made a video, and it was a month ago. And here it is. Me, in a video, bitching about Adam Koebel and the situation that took place on Far Verona between himself as the DM and Elspeth, who was a cast member on that show. And the interaction between an NPC and her player character. The situation went kind of from bad to worse as Adam didn't read his cast, thought in his mind that it was cute and funny, and didn't see how initial awkward reactions were moving from that to horror and shock. Kind of paralyzed them, and of course took away their agency, which in the role-playing world is kind of the worst thing that you can do as a GM or a DM. That there's, taking away the cast's or your player's ability to do something with their character is just bad. Adam knows that. He knew it before. Watch any of his old videos, and apart from that indiscretion, he's been consistently in favor of characters self-motivating and reacting in real ways. I mean, I know that he certainly enjoys roleplay. Court of Swords is an amazing show that I deeply, deeply miss. Not so much the Roll20 Presents, and it's not because of Elf or Lauren, Random Tuesday, Blue Jay, or Dave, or Adam. It's just, frankly, I just have not enjoyed at all this past season, as it were, of Roll20 Presents. Too much arguing over rules, and yeah, I know that some people think that that's a great thing. I've become much more invested in the roleplay side of things, even though I love OSR and I love various different aspects of things. I'm not a crunchy person. It's not that I don't like crunch. I love crunch in its concept. Zweihander is probably the most crunchiest thing next to Pathfinder. But it's one thing to love the concept of crunch. It's another thing to get your mind around it. Adam says, I don't do math. Math is not my friend. Well, crunch is certainly not my friend. Another video. So, Adam, first of all, it shouldn't be completely up to us to continue to keep somebody in the doghouse and to just keep on reiterating, oh, you're a fucking moron. Or, as I said, you're a fucking maniac. Yeah, I stand by it. He lost it for in his preparation, in the execution, in every aspect, and he knows this. He knows this. And it's been a month. Now, I've seen him on Instagram, and my God, he's a great photographer. regardless of what you think about him as a person because of this event, he is an amazing photographer. I spend all of my holiday time when I do venture, out and about, going to art, museums and various art shows and vernissage and stuff like that. And his work is compelling. And if you don't follow him on Instagram, you should, regardless of how you think about him as a person or as a player. He's amazing. Far too much emphasis is placed on whether or not a person is good or bad. Elspeth good, Adam bad. Therefore, let's hate on Adam. I absolutely defend Elspeth's rights and the whole cast and all of those who have participated in the shows that were current at the time of the Far Verona incident from saying, I need to step away. And I understand that what happened was a betrayal of trust. That would have devastated him. And the proof is that he has been consistent in his absence. He has stayed off of Twitter. He's been extremely silent. And that's given him time to really reflect on this. He, as a person, must be going through hell. Does he deserve that? Mob rules. And that's so unfortunate. I don't pay attention to Reddit too much. I kind of go on sporadically, but I don't, because it's such a toxic environment, I don't get a lot of positivity out of that. Discord seems to be good. I think I have Adam's community on Discord, but I haven't been paying any attention whatsoever. I just kind of watch what's been coming up on Instagram, and again, it's not, there's not a ton of stuff coming out. So many people have been affected by this. And I'm not just talking about the viewers. I'm talking about Blue Jay. I'm talking about the cast of Roll20 Presents, and of course Court of Swords, and all of his shows. It's just so sad that so many people have been affected by what essentially is, a short, tiny period of time where he went with something that he truly thought was not that bad. I can't get in his head. None of us can. We don't know why. I don't think that arrogance is part of his overall personality. And yeah, he has an enormous ego, and you need to, in some ways, to be able to do the things that he does as a GM and as a personality on Twitter, or Twitch, I mean. He's got to have tough skin to be able to face the criticism. And I think the proof of the pudding is, obviously, watch his previous shows and you'll realize that, yeah, he would have been horrified at himself. How could this have happened? What brain malfunction happened? Because it's not consistent with who he is and what we've seen of him. That is where I'm at the moment. The incident truly was the work of a maniac. His mind exploded and he just did something so uncharacteristically Adam that it shocked everybody, and the reaction was strong and harsh. And I think in part the reaction was strong and harsh because so many people love Elspeth and wanted to defend Elspeth. And on the other side, which is, and in my case, those who are sensitive to issues surrounding rape and sexual assault were clearly outraged. I was outraged. I'm still outraged. Nevertheless, does Adam never come back to Twitch? Do we as an audience kill his career because of this indiscretion? Now, I think that the reaction of all the shows at the time were appropriate. Cancel out, stop everything. Wizards of the Coast is brilliant. They just kept silent, took the show off the air, didn't say anything. It's brilliant because the lack of acknowledgement is in some ways of a benefit to Adam. Instead of exacerbating the problem, they just let it kind of go so that it's out of our minds after a while. It's been a month. It's time for Adam to get back to work. That's my take. You may have a different opinion. And I absolutely respect that. Rape is no joke. I really honestly believe that rape, sexual assault, has absolutely no place in any role playing that involves D&D. Maybe horror, if previously announced, if everybody's aware, like audience, cast, if everybody is on board and we know beforehand that this is what we're going to be watching, then we're aware. It's the same thing going into a movie theater, R rating, sex, violence, all this stuff. We know in advance. And then we're clearly aware and we can make up our own minds. If we bitch afterwards, well, it's our own faults. This was not that type of situation. And red cards and buzzers and all that stuff can happen. But as I said in my previous video, if the cast is frozen because they trust Adam so much and they're fearful of saying anything because of that trust, that's where everything breaks down. Because even with the red card, I don't think that the red card is always going to be useful. If you don't trust your GM, the red card is great. If you implicitly trust your GM, and that GM, if she breaks your, that trust, you may not immediately react because you're trusting. You're like, oh, okay, I'm going to see where this goes. I don't want to interrupt her. Where is she going? Oh no. No, this can't be happening. Your mind is like, because you also don't want to embarrass the GM. And showing a red card or flagging anything would in many ways be in some way an embarrassment. Yes, it's a protection. I'm starting to get my mind around this. But I think that what I saw in the video was there was petrification that happened. How could Adam be doing this? How could any GM do this? So he knows. And again, if you are angry at Adam because you think that he's a bastard and an arrogant son of a bitch or whatever, that's your own opinion. You watch his December vlogs over the past couple of years, and you get to know him as a person. Now, Adam and I would not see eye to eye at all. Okay? So I'm not a fanboy. I've interacted with him maybe once or twice on, one of the things is just, reluctant artsy saying, hey, that was an awesome, that was great. Or, yeah, I really like the Iron Sword character that you've got. Or, just a comment in chat. So he doesn't know me. I don't know him. He's, big fan of chaos and Satan and everything that is kind of anti-establishment and certainly against religion. I'm a Christian, and and we would not see eye to eye on many, many things. On role-playing, I think that we'd see very much eye to eye, and I think that I'd enjoy his company. I think that I would like him if I met him in a social context. I don't care at all about his social stances. Good for him for having a social stance. He's part of the 1%. He's part of, and I don't mean that economically, I mean on Twitter or on Twitch, that he's, he is an elite broadcaster. And so we put the standards up so high that we create the perpetuation of the fall. What I'm saying is that, we can't keep Adam in the doghouse forever. It's not fair to him. And I frankly think that it's not fair to us. I think that we need to reflect a lot about how we react to people that we don't agree with. I didn't agree with this situation. I certainly made my opinions clear. And yeah, I was as articulate as I could be as I rambled along as a boomer. And that's another context, is I'm not speaking from the same generation as probably most of you. I'm in a different age bracket completely. I'm looking towards the end of my life. I'm not looking towards the middle of my life. So, I'm much more forgiving because I know that time passes so very quickly. And that's the other thing. This is his livelihood. And there are many voices out there who have said, good, I hope he dies, and shit like that. Fucking stupid, right? If you are a fan of his previous stuff, you should be a fan of his future stuff. Yes, I stand by the fact that it will be harder for me to trust him. But he's no idiot. He's Canadian. So he has a great ability to say sorry. And I believe that genuinely. This is not somebody who is that person. He's not the person that we should kick off of the internet forever. And it shouldn't really be up to us. Yeah, we don't have to watch him, but we certainly don't have to go on and on about the damn thing. I'm here in some way not to apologize for my last video, but to say I've reflected and I've changed my mind in the sense that I think that he should be encouraged to come back, knowing that he's going to have to apologize again, which I'm sure that he's personally fed up with. But he should come back. Yeah, he's going to have to apologize on every friggin' thing, and every friggin' thing that he does is going to be a big expose on how we use red cards. Again, if you trust your GM so much, you may not use the red card because you don't want to embarrass them. Now that he's done this, he'll never create an opportunity for that to happen again. Just won't. Adam Koebel is a very, very intelligent man, an extremely intelligent person, and he needs to come back. He's going to face so much crap. Oh my God. Chat and the assholes. I would not want to be his mod, but he has to come back. He's too good at what he does, and he will be a better person. He will be a better GM. And the people that he has in his core group who watch him, will be much more appreciative of what he has to offer. I have issues with Roll20 Presents and the dynamics of rules versus role play. And yeah, there's a legitimate argument to say argue over rules. I think it distracts. I think it takes away from the experience. No, I don't think that everybody needs to do voices and stuff like that. Actually, in some cases, I think that it's horrible. But, lose yourself in the game. And you can't lose yourself in the game if all you're doing is talking about the rules of the game. And the red card situation, it needs to be expressed, but I think it needs to be expressed briefly. Maybe it just needs to be a disclaimer that's, just a screen that comes up beforehand and says, we will be using this. And then Adam doesn't need to go into a long spiel. I think that the worst thing that he could do is actually if he goes into a long spiel about the use of red cards and stuff like that. He's done it before. He'll do it again. But I really think that he should just have a visual disclaimer that's up on the screen for about, 10 or 20 seconds, explaining his position, move friggin' on and get on with the game. I certainly think that Farverona needs to come, not Farverona, Court of Swords needs to come back. For Dan, for Max, for Zeke, and for JP. Unless there's things behind the scenes that I don't know about, I really think that show is his opus. I think that it's his best creation. I think that it's the best cast, and I'm not slagging any of his other casts. But the way that they interact, the way that they work, has developed over many, many years. We can't, as an audience, just keep on punishing. It's not healthy for us as much as it's not healthy for him. So yeah, he should come back, and he should be... he should be getting back on the saddle. Will he ever GM Elspeth again? Probably not. But I wouldn't say never. I'm too old for that shit. Never say never. Never say never. This has been a huge moment for him that he will remember for the rest of his life. And it will shape him. Remember, this is not a normal situation. He's away from his girlfriend. They are separated completely because of the COVID-19 situation. This COVID-19 situation has affected him and Blue Jay enormously because of this tragedy. And it's almost a Shakespearean tragedy, right? He's at the top, and then there's this tragic fall. It's like Lear, But I think that he needs to come back. I think that we need to look at this from a Shakespearean point of view as a comedy. And he comes back. There's the chaos that has happened chaos and then come back up instead of being all high and then brought low. I think the bigger issue that I just want to touch on very, very briefly is, as audience members, we have to be very careful about the opinions that we share and making ourselves known and our thoughts and feelings known, but then also moving on. And maybe that's where I'm at. I'm at the point of moving on. What's done is done. I said my piece. I stopped following him on a number of things. But it's time for him to get back get back into it. Again, his photography, to me, is so amazing. I don't even have words for how beautiful especially his black and whites. Oh my gosh. Just incredible. Just incredible. And for that alone, I thank Adam for for giving that to the community that watches him. I wish that more people knew of how gifted he is as a photographer. And not... His portraits are great, but I think that his landscapes, his urban landscapes, are some of the most brilliant things that I've seen. His GMing, 99.9%, I think he is very, very good. And he made a 0.01 mistake, and it cost him a month basic income. Emotional turmoil that we cannot fathom. I'm sure of that. Just knowing him, especially this December vlog stuff. Watch that. If you want to get inside his head and know who he is, watch the vlog stuff during December's. And you'll get to know the person behind. You're mostly gone, people. And if you have stuck it through this past 26 minutes... Gone is great. I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but I will say this. Gone. Best show hands down on Twitch. Better than Critical Role. Yeah. You know, you can unsubscribe. That's fine. Gone is the best thing. I will do a video soon on that. Now, the characters in Gone. I'm not talking about, you know, the three main characters, but all the supporting cast. I don't believe that there's anything such as black and white. It's all gray. And I think that it's intentionally gray. I could be wrong. Pumpkinberry might be smiling. She might be laughing. She certainly got some reaction if she ever watches this. But I think that it's intentionally gray because that's the way we all are. We're all intentionally gray. There's no truly evil person. Well, maybe there are some truly evil people. They usually end up blowing up things and killing people and stuff like that. But it's rare. Much rarer than we think. People are not simply black and white. Adam is not simply this evil dude who's an egomaniac who wanted to rape Elspeth's character. He is much more complex. And I think that Twitter, Twitch, Reddit, all these social media things get us making a gut reaction. And our gut reaction is to have some escalated opinion. We have this escalated opinion. And then we stick to it as if we've made our bed and now we have to sleep in it forever. Yeah, I'm a Christian. Okay, so I believe in forgiveness. Forgiveness is not forgetting. Nobody's ever going to forget what Adam did. Moving forward, everybody will always be on the suspicion front. And I really hope that Adam doesn't labor on, okay, I'm being careful now, or no, we're not going to go there so that I don't get in trouble again. I hope that he just ignores the whole thing and goes back to being him. And in his mind, he knows, in the back of his mind, he knows, all right, this scenario I can't go there. Can't do that rape scene that I wanted to do, or I can't do this sexual scene that I wanted to do without foreknowledge. And again, I think that he should have a screen that just says, this is where we're at. If you don't like it, move on. Then it's up to us. If we don't like what's being shown, then that's fine. And the cast members, if they haven't had a discussion beforehand, well, it's going to happen. Everybody's going to have a discussion beforehand with Adam. Because when Adam approaches them, or when the producer approaches them and says, you want to be a cast member with Adam? They'll say, I don't know. And that's the other thing is, and we kind of forget, is that there's a whole cast list that probably is reticent about being a part of things with Adam. And that must destroy how he feels. And also Blue Jay. We can't just push her out of the picture She is his friend. Forget about the relationship. She's his friend. So, you know, it's affected those two people. It's affected the friendship with JP, I'm sure, and everybody else. You know, I don't know any facts about who's supporting him and who's not supporting him and who's building him up and who's putting him down. I certainly have done my share of putting him down with the video. I hope that I was articulating my feelings at the time, and I watched it, and I think that I did. But truly, yeah, I think that he's not that guy. It's just not that guy. So, you know, consider that. Consider that. I'm just basically putting this up to say, you know, the Twitch doghouse can't last forever. We don't put people in jail forever. We have a redemptive system that believes in well, at least in Canada, that believes in rehabilitation. Adam spent the time. I bet he's been to counseling so much. He knows what he did wrong by now. He knows. And he knows fully well what the consequences are. He's experienced them. But do we emotionally put him in turmoil again and again and again and again because we feel some high moral authority to punish him for something that was clearly a mistake? No, I don't think so. And you know, again, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. I hope that Adam comes back. And I hope that he comes back with Court of Swords first, with a cast that I do believe will continue to trust him. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I hope that he comes back with working with Dave and Lauren and Elf and, of course, Blue Jay in some form. Whether it's with Withers of the Coast or with Roll20 Presents, doesn't matter. I think that his relationship with them is very good. It's been very, very good for the past few years. And I think we should be very supportive when he comes back because he will have once again made the apologies. But think about beyond Adam. Think about other people that you've kind of punished by your voice and by your opinions. And think about, you know, how long do we have to punish people? How long do we withdraw ourselves until we're ready to kind of say, you know, it's time. It's time to come back home. So I guess this is just a big sermon on the prodigal son, right? You know, he went out, he did his stuff, he made a mistake, and I think that he's going to come back soon. And I think that we should welcome him with open arms, just being cautious. He's never going to do it again. I said it in my other video. He's never going to do it again. So, take care. Not sure if this is a happier video, but it's a more reflective video. I always want to make it so short. I wanted to do 15 minutes, and I've ended up being 33 minutes, and I'm sorry. I apologize, but there's so much that we could talk about with this particular thing. Just don't be an asshole when you have opinions about other people. Yeah, be strong if you feel outraged about something that is wrong. But after a while, it will fade. Time will fade, and you'll be able to move on. So there you go. Take care. See you in the next video.